Welcome everybody to Empyrion Galactic Survival. I'm KnowItAllDM. How's everybody doing today? I'm doing great today. So today I'm doing a quick showcase of one of my latest creations. This is the FX series freighter line. And currently I have two freighters in the line. The one I am using now is the FX-102 armored freighter. It's got, the only difference between the FX-101 and the FX-102 is the FX-102 has hardened steel instead of regular steel as its primary hull. And it's a nice small vessel freighter that, if I zoom out a bit, you should be able to see. Let me get a good look at it. Okay, and yeah, there's the freighter in all its glory. Yeah, it's just like a single long thing. But it is a small vessel that bridges the gap between small vessels and capital vessels. And what I mean by that is that it's large and heavy. Let's deactivate drive thrust, and it's extremely difficult to maneuver because it's low RCSs. You really have to start slowing down a lot quicker than you would in even a capital vessel, but that's because of its bulkiness. It's got so much weight on it that it is extremely hard to maneuver, but it's not meant to go into combat or anything. It is meant simply as a small vessel for, let me activate cruise thrust. It's meant as a small vessel that's that can basically be your hauler, to haul freight from one place to another. Or if you want to take it out on a mining expedition, you can use it to mine asteroids directly into its cargo holds. It's basically an all-around utility small vessel, the best that they can get until they actually put mining weapons on it, like mining turrets or mining forward weapons. But it's meant mainly, as I said, to haul freight from one place to another. It's got a, I'll show you the interior, but it's got a small vessel constructor and a whole bunch of storage, including an armor locker, some refrigerators. It's oxygenated interior. The only thing that separates it from a capital vessel is it doesn't have a grav generator, which I'm hoping eventually they will create a small vessel grav generator. That would just be awesome. But as you can see, it's really difficult to maneuver it. Not so much difficult as it's slow maneuvering. Let's see, I need to come around this way and turn a bit more. Okay, and there we go. And we should be good to come in right here. Okay. And here we are docking in the orbital trade station. It's not technically an orbital trade station, but okay, we gotta back up just a bit, and there we go. It is since this is creative mode, I did have to put the station in myself, but as you can see, it docks perfectly fine. I'm using the station's gravity for the gravity in here, of course. So this freighter is really useful for hauling large amounts of stuff from one place to another. It's got a total of 10 primary cargo holds, which can hold up to 32,000 units of volume. Now, you may be thinking, well, what does 32,000 units of volume cover? I will show you what 32,000 units of volume covers. Not everything, but somewhat. So, alright, if we come into here, you can hold, let's see, where's the combat steel? There's the combat steel. You can hold 500 or more, a little bit more than 500 steel blocks. What would it be? 600? Let's try 600. 600 combat steel blocks in each. Not quite. Probably like 550 combat steel blocks. And I know that's not a lot, but if you were trying to haul combat steel blocks from one place to another, you could utilize all this cargo, because since there's 10 of them, that's 320,000 units of volume. Now, volume-wise, yeah, that's what I thought. The combat steel blocks, I don't know why combat steel blocks are larger volume-wise, because they're the same size volume-wise. I don't know. It's weird. Like, it takes up the same volume as those if you look at them, but in any case, when it comes to actual useful hauling stuff, let's take a look at your ores, okay? So, 1,000 copper ore is just under 2,000 volume. So, in fact, if I put just one more on there, so right at 1,000. 1,000 copper ore is 2,000 volume. So if you were doing this as a mining ship, you could haul 320,000 times divided by 2. So you could carry like 150,000, 160,000. You could carry 160,000 ore. Provided that all ore is the same as copper. I think it is, but I'm not positive. Let's see. Yeah. All the primary ores. The neodymium is not. But all the cobalt, copper, and iron. Where did that fly off to? The cobalt, copper, and iron are... You could hold 200 or 160,000 of that. The neodymium is twice that amount, so no, it's just 50% more. So you can hold a lot. You can hold a lot of ore, and that's what I made this with the purpose of. Is I made this as an ore hauler specifically. But you can also carry a lot of other loot and stuff if you're going off and looting. You know, you can, if you have this ship, you can come and grab all the loot with this vessel and carry it back. Being a small vessel, you could also have it docked in a capital vessel and then utilize it to loot with. So over here, we've got the constructor. You've got your input, your output, and your refrigerators. Obviously these are not set for some reason, but let's set them and make sure to save it. Alright, FX Armored Freighter overwrite. And whether it actually saves or not, it's not a big deal. You've got your oxygen station right there. You've got your personal lockers, which could hold up to 500 units of volume, which is the same as a person. Which I don't know why they're colored weird. I wanted them to be those, or they're textured wrong. Okay, now they're right. Okay, let me override this again. So that's the texture of those. So you've got your personal lockers for up to 4 crew members, although there's only one, you know, one seat. You could add more seats in here, just as crew seats. You've got your armor locker over here, As you see, you can activate the ramps and doors by utilizing this switch here, but this switch will turn off once you activate the thrusters, as so that people don't activate the doors. However, you can always activate this switch and enter and exit through the cargo hatch right here. And that's basically it. It's got a fully functional warp drive and a good amount of generators. You've got your fuel tanks in here, the RCSs, and there are more RCSs underneath there, and you've got your generators under here. I suppose if you wanted to add more RCSs, you could add them inside there. You could, if you wanted to, just deck the entire thing out with RCSs and such, but I mean, that's up to you. Somewhere in here I ought to have, I don't know, did I add I'm pretty sure I did, equipment. No, it looks like I didn't add this thing. Here, the wireless connector. Let's go ahead and add a wireless connector. Now, where should I put it? I'm thinking I could just put it right up here, although, like, right there. I mean, yeah, that's like a perfect place for it. And there you go, there's a wireless connector. It has a wireless connector in it. And so you can connect to the freighter from a good distance, and that will allow you to connect to these. Now, I might want to put another one up here somewhere. In fact, I've got the perfect spot for it. Ah, no, not there. Undo. Come here. Right there. Perfect. So now I've got a good long wireless connection. One from the middle back of the thing and one from the front of it, so that no matter where you are around it, you can gather ore and everything. And as you can see in here, it's not terribly expensive, provided you have a means of getting a lot of iron, sathium, and copper. It doesn't require any neodymium. It doesn't require, you know, anything beyond that. So it's a good little ship. But yeah, I believe that's gonna be it. Oh, also, there are enough of these container extensions on each cargo pod that if you can take several hits to the exterior, and I'll show you what I mean now that I've got it saved. Oh yeah, you can activate different thrusters. Landing thrusters for landing on a planet. The drive thrust is your primary drive. Cruise is to keep you moving in cruise, and maneuvering thrusters is to, well, it's every other thruster. So let's get the drive thrust and maneuvering thrusters going. And right like this. Okay. And there we go, coming out here. Oh yeah, the ramps are still active. Let's just in this thrust. So, okay. And there we go, we are completely stationary. I can pull the ramps up, I don't need them, but so, okay, as I was saying, with the cargo containers, they've got 32,000 volume each, but they don't need all these extensions to maintain that 32,000. So, for example, if you take a hit in one of your cargo extensions, like so, and then look at the value, it's still 32,000. You have to take several hits in the same extension before it starts going down. Once it does start going down, it goes down quickly though. Now, what this does, and I'll show you this, is, let me grab those, okay? So, if I were to put 15,000, okay, 30,000, and I were to split these up into different chunks, okay, we have some 1s, some 2s, just different volume chunks, okay. All right, so now if I take a hit in this, let's say like so, you'll notice it blew away a good chunk of containers. It blew away all the large ones, or the smallest amount that it can lose is what it was. It loses the smallest amount that it can lose at a time. So these should all have 1 or 2 you know, things in them, and it goes by stack. So if you want to lose the least amount of stuff if you get hit, what you're going to want to do is stack it in smaller stacks inside your container, so that when you do get stuff blown out, it just loses the small chunks instead of large chunks at a time. Because, for example, if I just did this, okay, and then put it in there, and then I did this, just blow out 1, it blows out the entire load, even though I can still hold some, because it can't hold this entire amount anymore. So it blew out what it could, but it blows it out in the stacks, so it blew out the entire stack. So if you're worried about that, you're just going to want to, you know, blow out, you're going to want to just, you know, put smaller stacks and you'll be fine. But as I said, each of these has it so you can take a good hit, and this one, it's still the full 32,000, even though it's had a good chunk taken out of it. So in any case, that's going to be it for this little showcase and sort of like talky thing. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button for me. And if you want to see more of my creations, go ahead and subscribe. Also, subscribe on the workshop once I get it published, which it should be being published any minute now. So, in any case, y'all have a good day now.